Hello, I'm Bob Harris. Welcome to Duraamen's educational series for industrial and decorative concrete flooring systems. In this video series, we're going to demonstrate the use of Perdure PU85, which is a hybrid blend of polyurea and polyaspartic. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 part A, 1 part B, and we're going to show you how to resurface concrete countertop in this case. Now, the nice thing about the PU85 is the fact that you can have a quick turnaround. You could, finish a project in 1 day, literally 1 day. It is a good idea on this concrete. It's somewhat porous, so we're going to go ahead and put a prime coat down, and the dry time is approximately 1.5 to 2 hours. And then we're going to just show you some fun artistic techniques. This is going around a fire pit. So the concept is we're going to make it look like kind of lava is oozing out of the center of this countertop. So important consideration: we vacuumed this countertop. It's been sitting for a while, but even with vacuuming it, I can feel there's still a little bit of grit, and I don't know if the camera can see, but that's a residual dust that's on my hand. So we really have to be diligent about cleaning this off. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a solvent wipe. We're going to take acetone and wipe it. And from the car industry too, you can use what's called a tack rag, and just to tack rag it, just to get anything off of here that's for bonding purposes. You want the PU85 to adhere properly, but also you don't want that particulate because that'll reflect through into the material. Here you go. We have our quantities of the PU85. An important consideration: the lids come with a pre-sealed plastic insert. So it's very important that you put that back just as soon as you're done, because just air into the material, especially on the B side, could actually activate and it could start setting up. So just as soon as you've poured the appropriate quantity, put the resealed plastic caps in, followed by the threaded cap to help preserve the material a little bit longer. So we're going to go ahead and use the Lumiere Metallic Essence. We're using a charcoal color. I always like to, once we have equal parts of A and equal parts of B, I like to pre-mix the metallic pigment into one side, make sure it's thoroughly mixed, and that way it gives us added working time, and then we'll pour the other side into it. So we'll show you on the metallic pigment here. On small quantities, like if you're doing samples, for example, oftentimes people will ask, is it okay to just use a stir stick? And the answer is, on small quantities like this, it is okay. However, you just got to be diligent about mixing the pigment, the metallic pigment up. And so for that reason, we're just going to use a slow speed drill and make sure it's thoroughly mixed. Is that enough for you?
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Okay. We just finished rolling down our prime coat of the PU85. We're going to give this approximately an hour and a half, no more than 2 hours to dry, and then we'll come back with our final body coat or our artistic coat. You may want to also consider using the P90 as a top coat in a commercial setting. Maybe you've got a bar, a countertop in a bar where they're going to have, you know, alcohol spilled on it, or they're going to be dragging, you know, glasses and cups across the surface. So it's not a bad idea to go ahead and top coat with the P90 as the final coat. So I can tell you also that this product has been used successfully over plywood bars. So you can get in and literally in one day turn a plywood countertop right around and do these same techniques. As far as the seams, you'd probably want to go ahead and fill the seams with the polyurea from Duraamen, and then make sure that's down, you know, ground down back level, flush to the surface, and then follow the same procedures that you see us working on this concrete countertop. Our concrete countertop was very porous. We had initially ground it, and that exposed some pits, and so we primed with the PU85, which is our hybrid polyurea and polyaspartic blend, and we tinted it with Lumiere metallic powders, and now we're getting ready to do our body coat. When you do the body coat or the decorative coat, it's subjective. It's really up to the independent artist, you know, as far as the effects that you're trying to get. This table is going on a fire pit, basically, so it's called a fire table. So, you know, we thought we'd just have a little bit of fun and try to mimic what looked like some lava. So we're going to go ahead and mix up our first color. So I have the Lumiere metallic pigment inside of here. Going to give that a thorough mix. So when you're going wet into wet, it is important to have everything ready to go. So you can see we have cups. Now this is a different color, and even the smaller one is a different color. So we'll have enough working time, but just be prepared. So when it's go time, you're ready to just start mixing and go right on to the next step. When you're doing a high-end finish like this, I just always buy brand new equipment as far as the mixing paddle. Don't use a contaminated mixing paddle. So start with a clean, fresh mixing paddle so we don't get any residual contaminants. We did sand this countertop, and you can see the outgassing bubbles. So we sanded it flush. Used 320 grit on a palm sander. And then we solvent wiped it, and then used a tack cloth to get any unwanted lint off of the surface. And now we're ready to apply our body coat. Yep.
I think we're done with the black roller. You may hang on to it.
I can have a lot more. kind of looking cool, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I like it.
Black hole. The black hole.
All right, we're right at around 20 minutes, wet into wet. The unique thing about the PU85 is the fact that it kind of maintains its shape. Unlike a metallic 100% solids epoxy, this would continue to run for several hours. This more or less, you know, once I pour it out there, it maintains that shape. You know, we're just having fun with it. It's subjective. It's supposed to mimic a fire table. When I have some time, I'll finish it off with some little airbrushing, some little flame licks here and there. Pretty interesting, unique table to say the least. So you'd want to finish this off. What we'll do is tomorrow we'll just do a very, very light sand on it, do a solvent wipe, and then we'll go ahead with the P90, which is a UV stable polyaspartic, and then that table will go back out in its final resting spot.